All right, here we go. I got Jason. Are you in the kitchen?
Yep.
You're always in the kitchen.
I am.
Oh my goodness. Show me something real quick now that I have you here. Show me what you got.
Pickled onions.
Oh,
It's just onions soaked in balsamic vinegar. And they're delicious. You put them on any salad or anything.
that's awesome. Look at our shirts. We're matching. You look great. We didn't even plan for this.
Thank you.
I swear to God, I was going to wear this shirt, and then we went back and forth. I said, "Oh my goodness, it's something. Something's going on here. I think I've had too much of an impact on you with this stuff." We went shopping together for that, right?
Yep, and we got it tailored too.
All right. So real quick, I have Jason Demchok on. He's on his actually third podcast with me. We did originally on my 900th episode, which was awesome, but we only did audio. And then I did a follow-up, which was number 946, which was one of the highest viewed podcasts I've ever actually even had, truthfully, especially in the last month. So I've had a lot of people asking me, who is Jason? Is he really what he says he is? Is he, how did me and him meet? So, I mean, I told Jason, we got to do a follow-up to this, and that's where we're at, right? All right.
So get out of the kitchen?
Let's get out of the kitchen. I can't have it. You got to go sit down somewhere else. You're hysterical. Oh, yeah. Last time we did it outside, we had airplanes. He was in the woods, which was hysterical. And people really love that. But
yeah, it feels weird to be inside.
Yeah. So kind of let's first, I think a lot of people that are going to watch this already watched or listened and watched the previous two. Do me a favor, tell people first very quickly what you do, very quick, and where they can contact you instead of us doing a podcast for an hour, because let's face it, most people don't get there and then they don't really know how to get a hold of you, because I think what you do is so unique. Tell people right now what you do, how to get a hold of you, and then I want to kind of go from there.
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather just talk to people, just reach out to me directly. I don't like to make people jump through hoops. Just my email is jason.demchok, DEMCHOK @gmail.com. And then on all the social media, it's optimized being.
Yeah. And tell people just very quickly, he's an extraordinary chef, cook. Lately, you've been doing some things which we're going to get into, meeting some unbelievable people that are doing a lot of things. But kind of you tell them what you do right now.
Well, it's obviously hard to put me in a box, but I kind of, simple terms, I seek out what optimizes the human experience, the day-to-day, moment-by-moment experience. And I look for ways to get the most bang for your buck, like most improvement without having to, spend the most money or do the most. And then I teach others how to do the same thing.
Yeah. And I think I try to help people live an incredible life affordably. I think you try to help people cook delicious, healthy food affordably, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not only how to cook it, but how to shop for it. That's what I've seen through you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, part of me helping people, navigate. Yeah. I mean, we have to eat every day, right. So it's like a big deal that we don't really learn how to cook. It's not like, you would think that since it's so important, like we would have learned that in school, True. So yeah, so cooking and shopping, like those two big things. I used to more do this, like take people like to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, and we'd walk up and down the aisles, and I teach them how to look at the ingredients. And now I do it more virtually.
That makes sense. But
I like to work with like groups of 5, or more.
I've been in grocery stores with you, and I'm a guy who's always eating out, and that's just my thing. I probably eat out at least once a day. And I always talk about people underestimating how much money we all spend on food, not only even eating out in grocery stores or even going with our kids, spending a lot more money a lot of times than we have to. Even when eating out, do we really have to order an appetizer? Why can't we split a dessert? But when I went shopping with you, I mean, the ingredients that you're looking for, and I've discussed this on previous podcasts, are things that I don't usually see people looking to purchase or looking to create a dish with that. Did you, again, we've discussed this before, but are you studying cookbooks or did you study from different masters? Because you've been all over the world, you've cooked all over the world. And, where do I even begin with you? Because this is kind of, I don't think people understand the type of things you're cooking, how organic and whole food, but the taste that you kind of bring.
Yeah, I guess, fundamental skills, like I learned a lot from watching my father, just, and then, I get new information, and then I'll look up the food, and I'll kind of see how other people are preparing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll buy it. And then I'll basically just start playing with it. And then almost always, some idea comes in my mind like that no one else is doing. And then I try that and I'm like, it's perfect. It fits perfect. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, I just get these light bulb moments and it just seems to work together, like so many things.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely an artist when it comes to cooking. And I know every chef and every cook out there would say the same, and they are all incredible at what they do. But it kind of reminds me, like, if I tell people when it comes to wardrobe or fashion, they don't realize in their closet how many different types of looks they can create with just a few items, right? Or just a few accessories.
Right. Like that's exactly right. Like, just like you're the master of that. Like, you see things and you get these ideas, oh, this and this. And it just seems to, like you just said, you could probably go into someone's wardrobe and make them look like 1,000 times better. I can go into someone's refrigerator, like, at any time, and whatever they have, like, I'll turn it into something,
Right.
But so if I have the best ingredients, if I go to the local market, I go to this guy, Jim Gale, who's doing this food abundance, I get food right out of the ground. I mean, that's just another bonus. That's what I mean about optimization. Like, if you grow it yourself, or if you are connected to farmers, you're going to save money. You're going to get fresher food. It's going to taste better.
Right.
You're going to get things you couldn't get. So it's just like the good things in life are very abundant.
Yeah.
The simple things, like good food comes out of the ground, good friendships, they just arise. You don't know how to explain it. You just meet someone and you feel like you've known them forever, kind of thing. Or all that stuff is really simple, and it's very inexpensive, you could say. But we wind up spending more money, more suffering, more struggle to get things that don't really serve us. And that's something I don't like to do. I don't like, I don't like to be stupid, and I don't like to waste my energy and time. So I do the research. I ask a lot of questions to people. I hire experts who are much better than me. That's really, I think, the most secret weapon of all, is just anything that you're not like that you want to know more about. Find someone who's already has the evidence that they're good at it, that they're comfortable, that they have knowledge. You ask a question, they know what they're talking about. But the only thing is, you need to get rid of your pride and your jealousy in order to really get a mentor, is what I'm talking about. If you're constantly comparing yourself to them, how are you going to learn from them? If you're constantly saying, oh, they have it so easy, they're so good at this, just listen, just ask questions, and just, be a sponge. You've called me a sponge, right? Like, just be a sponge. Like, that's my secret weapon, is just like finding people I can just learn from, be humble. And I learned that in my Buddhist training. I mean, it kind of always came naturally to me. Like, I really, when I want something, like, I really want to achieve it.
Right.
So yeah, finding the people who can do it, it just made the most sense to me. And I so.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people like myself, let's say, we're kind of foodies, right? We're always looking for the best restaurant, right? Or the coolest place to eat. It could be coffee, it could be a bar, it could be a nightclub, it could be whatever the hell it is. They want to find the coolest spots to taste the best foods or the best drinks or best cigars, whatever it is. You on the flip side, you're always out there kind of finding the coolest farmers markets, the best place to buy foods, just in general, organic. It's a lifestyle for you. It's not just going to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or what's that other market you go to? World Market?
Fresh Market.
Of course, Fresh Market.
Or Fresh Market. There's Sprouts. You could find those most places.
Right, exactly. So I get a lot of people, they want to start cooking differently. They want to be a lot healthier. They want to start using whole foods, right? And those they think are their only options. But what you kind of do is just a higher level of that. And it's fun and it's exciting and it's unbelievable how you network through doing that. Not only are you meeting a bunch of unbelievable people, you're learning all different things as you go to these locations, as far as just what they're growing, how they're growing it, being able to find things you can't really find anywhere else. I just think it's amazing, because I do think a lot of people out there would love to live your lifestyle and love to learn to cook like you. They just don't know it. That makes sense. If they want to go to a higher level, right? Because I do think a lot of people want to do what you're doing, and it's a blast. And I think a lot of us too, they go to farmers market and they think that's as far as you're going to go. But no, you can do, there's so much out there that you can learn about food, nutrition. You just got to go out and do it. Right.
Yeah, like I just went to the farmers market in Winter Park, and like I met 3 farmers, and I loved the vegetables they had, and I said, let me get your card, and I'll go visit them one day,
Yeah.
And I just found something interesting. My friend Patty, she has a farm in St. Cloud, and she has papaya trees. I didn't know, like, you plant a papaya tree, you're going to just get like, I don't know, like 20 papayas a week. Wow. And they're like one of my favorite favorite fruits. And you just get so much. So again, I guess I'm part of a bigger mission, or that, like, there's, maybe you can't grow food, but someone can. Go help them out. Go plant a papaya tree at their house. Hey, you got some land? Can I plant a papaya tree here? And then next thing you know, like, we'll share the papayas. I'll take care of it. And we could be doing that all over the world.
Yeah, right. And
feeding ourselves. It's like this is an art that we've been doing forever.
Are you a green thumb? I mean, are you a legit?
No, actually. Huh? Not at all.
I was going to say, you are not. You're more about getting the ingredients, right? You're not about planting yet.
Well, I mean, I would love to, maybe in like a year or two, like, get some kind of land and start getting good at that. I do sprouts. I make sprouts. But no, I'm really, and I'm a forager. I like to go in the woods and get it, But no, I'm more of a chef. I'm more, I guess, I get other people grow it, and I make good use of it.
Let's kind of go to our origin story, because one of the questions I get asked all the time is regarding me. I hang out with a lot of different type of people, as you know as well. You've even met some of my friends. So I'll literally be with a bunch of Italians from New York and Chicago. Then I'll be in LA with a bunch of designers and models. And then the next week I'm with someone like yourself, right? I'm just saying. And then I'm with a bunch of bodybuilders, right? And then, so my point being is I'm all over the place, and I love meeting all different types of people that especially do things that are much different than myself. But I also have to have an interest in it. But a lot of people keep asking me, how did I meet someone like you? Right? How did me and you kind of connect? Because it's so out of left field. Your lifestyle, to a certain degree, couldn't be much different than mine. Even the places we hang out with, your kind of country, like, you love line dancing, right? I don't like to cook. You love to cook. I don't like shopping. You are shopping for food. You love to shop, right? And you weren't somebody who liked shopping in malls, and I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you looked at the two of us, you'd say those two couldn't be more opposite, right? But tell people kind of how we connected, because I think that's one of the questions I keep getting as far as feedback goes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, well, one thing we have in common, and to me is one of the most important things, is that we both basically, we want to better ourselves and we want to help other people better, but not in a controlling, like, annoying way, and I think we both are just really kind of, I guess, depressed, like frustrated with this world where it seems like everybody would rather be on their phone than actually like just bouncing ideas off each other, like just kind of having fun together. So that's what we have in common. But yeah, I think people know, like I've been practicing Buddhism. I've been, off meditating sometimes 8 hours a day, like for many years. And I guess I was always checking out self-improvement stuff, but maybe not the mainstream type of that stuff. And I came across Kevin Samuels, and he was really interesting, but he calls himself an image consultant. And I liked a lot of the things he said, because so I always work from the inside out. I spend so much time developing the inside. But I knew there was something to the outside, not just like, okay, I have to dress or be like everyone else, but more like, how do I get what's inside to be expressed outside better?
Right.
So his whole thing is like, yeah, expensive watches, all this kind of stuff, like these, but it just planted the seed in my head, like the results he's talking about, I could definitely use that. It would definitely help me connect with people better. Like if I come out of the woods, like dressed in robes and just started like, and trying to get people to trust me, like in business or something, it would be hard. So,
right.
Or anything, I had to fit in. So I just went on LinkedIn, where I love to search, and I typed in image consultant, and sure enough, you popped up.
That's right.
And I was in West Palm at the time, so you were in Orlando. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. He's close. Right. I checked out your profile, everything. I'm like, this guy seems really sincere, legit. And like I always do, I just reached out to you, said I was interested in what you do, and you wrote me back, and and then we had a call. I like to get on the phone with people.
Right.
These days, people think I'm like a creep. Like, what do you want to talk on the phone for?
Right. I want to make sure you're human. Right.
Exactly. Like,
you don't even know what country they're in. They could say Orlando, and they're who knows where they're
exactly. At. That's true too. I didn't even think of that. But I just need, like, it's like a lost art of just being able to like empathize with the person and just kind of feel it out. And again, you spent like an hour on the phone with me, and I was like, okay, this guy's the real deal. And you actually, what I liked was you were you just right away, like, it kind of like debunked a lot of my arguments. And I was like, and you presented it in a way that I never thought of. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good point.
Right.
Most people are like, well, I don't agree with you, but all of Buddhist training is like you don't have to agree with someone. Listen to their idea and then spend some time thinking about it. Yeah. But with you, it was like right away. I'm like, no, I just kind of like slept on it, and then I bought your course.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm thinking back. We all have a certain perception of when we meet somebody, and you forget about a lot of things, right? Even talking on the phone or the course. But I remember, like when I think of you, the first time we met, right? We went to Foxtail and Winter Park, and we.
Oh, right.
That's kind of where it starts for me for some reason. And how honestly,
I took the course because, I wanted to. Yeah, I knew, like, the course it's a very reasonable price. So I'm like, it's worth its money. Like, I'm just going to do it. I'll get a lot of improvements. But I was hoping that it was really good, that I would want to meet you in person, And sure enough, it was. And I asked you questions, you answered me. And then I was just like, let me come out to Orlando. I want, let's go shopping for clothes. I have no idea what to get,
You've come such a long way in that year. I can't even tell you, even from the first time I met you, from just a lot of different things. What I love about you, and that, I want you to create the identity specifically for you that works for you. And you know how to do that. Me, it was kind of just helping you on the outside again and doing certain things that I know you wanted to improve on your image. It's real simple. But I mean, really the confidence level that the transition has been incredible with you from because really, even when I met you, you didn't even live. Now you live in Central Florida, but even it seems like it's been just in the last year. It's not because of me. I'm not saying that, but you've really broken out, I think, and you've come a long way as far as I think just meeting people, learning about so many things, your social media. I just wanted to, and I think sometimes I was hard on you. I want to tell you, sometimes I was an asshole, but I just wanted to kick you in the ass a lot of times because I don't think people realize how talented you are and all you have to offer. Because a lot of times I think people do, they are almost sometimes wanting to help everyone else and forgetting about themselves sometimes to a certain degree. Let's jump into religion here real quick, because I know you want to cover it a little bit with the Buddhism thing. And with, I love learning about different religions. And when I was younger, I was fortunate because I had a cousin that left Chicago, went to Florida and become a very well-known, I don't know what you'd want to call him, one of the top preachers for Jehovah's Witness in the state of Florida. So I was always around Jehovah's Witnesses, him and his family. Then also my uncle, who's the president of the Greek Council in Chicago, who's a very popular, he married into our family. An Italian, my aunt, who's Italian. And then I was around a lot of Greek Orthodox. My mother's a diehard. Well, she's a Catholic. And I even graduated from a Catholic high school. I got married in the Basilica, which is kind of like, to a certain degree, the Vatican of the Midwest, or at least Chicago. And I was always going to Christian camps. I always had to go to Bible studies. And what I loved, I'll tell you two things. I went to a Catholic high school, and for 2 years, we had to study a different religion each year. And I loved that. So 1 year I did, because of my cousin, I did the Jehovah's Witness thing, and I was kind of familiar with it, praying to Jehovah, how they did all their things, no holidays, no birthdays, all that. They would go, I'd even watch them go door to door and then the next year I picked Mormon because my neighbor was Mormon and he was a twin, and I used to babysit his daughter all the time. And then I had these other little two twins across from me too, that I used to babysit. God, you think about those, they got to be women now in their 30s, right? But anyway, so I studied that, and we studied it for like a whole quarter. So I got to learn a lot, and I love going to Utah. It sounds funny. I love going there and I goof around and tell people I'm a Mormon. It's just a joke. Of course, I'm not a Mormon, right? I live in Windermere. There's Mormons, or if I'm with Greek Orthodox, I'm like, yeah, I'm with the Greeks, as a joke. One thing I never really learned about is Buddhism. I know the whole karma bit, but I never focused in on that. Now that's your thing, right? How did you end up like picking that over everything else? Because I'm kind of all over the place with religion. What's your thing? Like, what made you just keep gravitating towards that religion?
Well, I mean, I think what we call religion is, it means different things to different people.
Of course.
So, during the Buddhist time, there were people called the Brahmin, and they believe they were the chosen people. Mm-hmm. Like some people now believe they're like in the West, there's like chosen people. So the Brahmin believed they were the chosen people. And like, why? Because their parents were Brahmin and their grandparents were Brahmin, great-great-grandparents. And they were like the priests of the time. And like everyone else worked in the fields, but the Brahmin were the top. And, that was kind of what people thought.
It sounds like the Sicilians. I'm just kidding.
I was thinking a different group of people, but yeah, like it's a dynamic. Yeah, it operates on other levels, but so much of what the Buddha actually was doing was really making fun of them and like poking at them and showing like, so you claim to be a Brahmin just because parents and your parents, right. But the Buddha showed that it's not what your birth is. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter anything. It's what you do that matters.
Right.
So like he says, a farmer is someone who farms. Like farming makes you a farmer.
Gotcha.
Right? Like whatever, building makes you a builder. Like people say they're all types of things, but you're only that if you're doing it, right? So people can call themselves anything. They can call themselves a Buddhist, a Christian, but we have this idea that like you just call yourself something.
Yeah.
But that goes fundamentally against what Buddha taught, what Jesus actually taught, if you read the Sermon on the Mount and stuff. So Buddhism is not like, okay, well, first there was like this king and he had a son and 50 generations, none of that. It's just really the Buddha teaching the listener how to notice parts of themselves in their direct moment of experience and change it to give you a happier future. So there's no religion behind it. There's no belief at all. There's zero belief. In fact, the whole purpose is to let go of belief and just take in information, contemplate it, meditate on it, and then realize it to be true or not true. Most people, I think, when it comes to everything, they're not taught how to like do debate. Like we used to go to school, like Buddhist education, you always learn debate. There's no written test. It's not like a written test. It's always a debate. And you debate every single day. The monastery I lived in, it was like every day, probably like 4 or 5 hours of debating. And then the long debates would go on overnight. So that teaches you, and you don't only debate your side. Right? The presidential debate, which is not a debate or whatever, all these debates, people are just arguing their side. Well, I think this. Nobody ever time to switch roles. Okay, I'm going to defend what I love doing. What's that?
I love doing that.
And that's what the Buddha taught how to do.
Yeah, I like that. I like always kind of, if you know me, I'll take both sides. I'll go against myself sometimes. And I'm also willing to change my mind at any time and not give a shit.
Well, that's the thing. And when I think of religion, I think of people who won't do that. I think of people who say, this is what I believe.
Right.
You know, like, why do you believe it? Why is that your religion? Oh, because it was your parents' religion. So you really didn't do any exploration.
Right.
Like I actually didn't grow up with much religion at all. And then I was like atheist. And then, you know, I actually did Hinduism and then Buddhism. And Buddhism has been a long time. It's been like 20 years. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't falling into, you know, a trap. So I read the whole Old Testament and the New Testament. And I went to churches and I talked to rabbis. I really wanted to have a clear picture of what they believed in but I also found like 100% of the time, there were certain things that they would not question. And the Buddha said, question everything. So again, when I think of Buddhism, it's the opposite of almost everything. Even atheists, they're stuck on this atheism and they don't let you finish a thought. No one lets you finish the thought. They're ready to just jump down your argument right away.
How many books have you read about Buddhism?
Oh my God.
Give me a number. Let's just give people an idea.
I mean, I just finished a 1,700-page book.
How many?
It's not what?
How many over the years? I don't want to know this, but how many books?
Oh man. I mean, it's gotta be like 3,000 probably.
It's crazy.
Maybe well, I mean, it depends on what you consider a book, because a lot of this stuff is real short, like sutra, but yeah, no, I listen. I listen on Audible like constantly.
Right. This is like a life's kind of mission to constantly be learning about this, correct? Because you're beyond that. Even if I go with you or at a library or at a bookstore and you're always looking at
That's right.
Right.
I mean,
which is cool. I love that.
I mean, if you think about it, you know, from a Buddhist perspective, but you know, you can come up with this on your own. Like there's no Buddhist perspective. The Buddha just taught what's true. And what's like, you know, it's like a scientist. He really was a scientist. That's really what it is. And I consider myself a scientist also. That was my major. I worked in a lab, you know, so like, that's why Buddhism, I think, to answer your question, I think Buddhism made so much sense because it's just the scientific method, but taken even further. In other words, it takes, like you got people in the laboratory, they know the scientific method. The Buddha took that very method and turned it in on your own mind.
Can I ask you one question about karma from your perspective? Because because that's huge, right? The whole karma.
It's a big part. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. This is not something that's easy to answer. Everybody and the Buddha was very cautious in how he answered, you know, what happened after we die. Like But go ahead. Let's give it a shot.
No, I love the concept of karma when it's on a positive note.
Mhm.
What I don't like, in my opinion, but when something bad happens to somebody, because I believe something's bad going to most likely happen to all of us. Nobody's goes unscathed, most likely. Not saying, for the most part, something bad can happen. You could lose a parent suddenly, a child,
Mhm.
health issue, all these things. And somebody will say, oh, it's karma because he did this or that. Is Buddhism more on the positive tip? Because that doesn't mean, I don't think it's on a negative. Am I wrong about that?
Well, no. Well, there's two ways I want to answer that. One is that, when something quote unquote bad happens, in other words, we feel pain, physical or emotional, mental pain, and yes, that's going to happen, right? We're going to lose parents, we're going to lose friends, but you could look on the bright side and say that this bad experience happening is the ending of bad karma.
Gotcha.
So it's like, and the way karma works on that level is it's really so simple. It's really so simple, but it's hard to digest this and it's hard to live it. But when you start to live it, it really works.
Yeah.
But basically, what you put out, you get back. Right? And we could explain this on psychological levels, the subconscious, but just simply put, the Buddha taught like you would think, if I want to have a lot of money, I should hold on to my money. But the Buddha taught the exact opposite. If you want money, give. Like whatever you give, you're going to receive more, tenfold, right? So it's like, if you can't find love, go give love to people who need it more than you, and then you'll get it back tenfold.
Gotcha.
So when something quote unquote bad happens, like, like you can, some things are inevitable, like death, but
nobody
if there's something you don't like about your experience, do the opposite.
I get it.
And that's what happens. Like, again, that's why Buddhism, it's like turning it in on yourself. And people are like, I'm generous. What do you mean? Like, or I'm loving. What do you mean?
Right.
Well, karma is an unbreakable law. It just means that it's a mirror. You just get back. So there's no one to argue with. There's no God. There's no Buddha. There's no your mother. There's no anyone to blame. Like, everything that's happening is what you're putting out. So again, people can outright dismiss that, but I'm just saying it could be true, what I'm saying. This is what I mean about how, like I don't agree with that. Well, don't have to agree with it. You can test it and you'll see it works. It works for me. It's worked. But I want to answer another way, because that's like, that level is good to know. But really, the Buddha taught even to go beyond karma, meaning that it's like, pain is going to happen. Right. We're all going to have to age, and we could be anti-aging all we want, like we will age, but it's all how, like, that is happening. Like, we have a pain, we get into an argument with someone, but how long we let that affect us. Yep. We could work on that. And for example, real quick example, like, Buddha said that love is the antidote to hate. So hate always makes you feel tight and tense. Like, this is provable. Like, there's no, like, we could test it out, but when you have an argument and then you're not with that person and you're thinking of all the things they did wrong, right? That mindset is not in the present moment. And in Buddhism, all of the thing that's meaningful, happy, has to be in the present moment. So we say love is the antidote. So when you are having those hateful thoughts, if you can remind yourself to love, it will actually knock out those thoughts. So that's kind of an example of a Buddhist teaching, is you see how, so even though I've studied like thousands of books and 20 years of this, and I still have so much more to go, and I don't mind it because it just keeps getting better, is because it's all like we are a complicated mess of a lot of bad ideas that we hold on to, a lot of bad actions, a lot of you know yeah, mostly like views and actions, right? And so there's just a lot of work to do, and every issue you could have, like the Buddha addressed it, because our emotions, our whole thing is nothing new. This is humans, when the Buddha was alive 2,500 years ago, they had the same emotions as we have now, same issues, same problems. So yeah, like it still applies now. We can still use them.
Yep. All right,
Yeah.
let's we're gonna be wrapping this up in a little bit here.
Sure.
Let's get down to some final things here that I want to cover with you. What are you doing now? And what do you plan on doing? You know, now that COVID's wrapping up here, things are definitely changing. Do you is this a benefit, you think? Are people wanting to be healthier? Do you see them? Because let's face it, a lot of people have not been working out, or they've been eating a lot of fast food, junk food. Are you getting feedback regarding that? What's kind of your whole plan here now that COVID ended from a health and wellness standpoint? How you help others?
It officially ended? That's good to know,
Well,
you know. I didn't get
it's
that.
starting to feel like it.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, like, well, honestly, you know, people have to agree with me, but I think that no, unfortunately, people are not interested in getting healthier or and everything. They're actually most people are going in the wrong direction, but the people who are going in the right direction, which is smaller and smaller numbers of people, are getting really, really passionate. So that's where it's good for me, because, you know, I feel sorry for the people who don't, you know, want to, you know, improve themselves and kind of wake up on every level. This is like the great reset. Like, so much of our society has already changed. People don't know it yet, and there's going to be more changes ahead. So, but again, that could be good if you know, that's kind of also like karma. It's kind of how you you know, you surf it, or how you guide it. Right. So what I'm trying, so that ties into what I'm doing. And yeah, I think I'd like to teach people how to cook. You know, that's definitely a practical, important thing that people have been just asking me to do. So how to do this most efficiently, like I said, like groups of 5, or like make a video series, like that could be good to do. But also, like this guy Jim Gale, who's doing the food forest abundance. Yeah. Like, I think what he's doing is a really good idea. Yeah. In other words, instead of planting grass in front of your house, like plant a lot of food, you know, especially perennial food, which grows back without any work. It was amazing. You could have, it's amazing. And then, you know, with what I do, like a lot of like beans, I was going to mention before about, you know, for at Whole Foods for like $1.99, you can get a pound of black beans, which are like one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. And you can, they store, so it's like survival food, you know? Right. So yeah, I want to teach people, like, yeah, how to be as healthy and prepared for this coming time. Yeah, because I've seen too, like, I think me and you've discussed, it seemed like when COVID kind of hit, you had 2 different type of people. I thought, like, one that were looking for an excuse to be even lazier, to stay home and not go to the gym, right? Oh, the gyms are closed finally. Good. I don't have to go. Right. And then you had other people saying, holy shit, there's a disease out there, or whatever, an illness. And I have compassion. You know, when people don't have the emotional resilience, they will get swept away by, like, you know, some little thing changes and they get into fear. There's a lot to it, but, you know, I just wish the best for them. I've learned, though, you can't change people. Like, right. It just gets you into arguments with people. It's hard. Small changes. Even if you have, even if you have their best interests in mind, like, I don't know. I tend to trigger people all the time. So I just learned to just kind of teach people who come to me now. Like,
I get it, but you're gonna like, you had the unhealthy, and then you had people that wanted to get healthier, right? That was a reset to say, oh my goodness, now even if you were half-assed and working out, or you wanted to get healthier, and now everyone's getting sick, you're like, oh, now's the time for me to really take this serious. Now maybe the time for me to start eating better. So that's kind of how I seen the two of them kind of going one way or another. And also, what was I going to say? As far as the changes go, I just try to help people one change today, like just one. I don't care. Like I'm helping this other guy. People come to me, I want to lose weight. I want to look better. I want to start dressing better. I want to start doing all these different types of things. I want to change my diet, all these things. I'm like, you haven't been able to stick with one. Why are you saying you're going to be doing all this? How's this today? If you want to start working out, go join a gym. Put your money where your mouth is, because most people won't even join the gym. Well, wait, I got to lose the weight and then I'll join the gym, or I'm not going to do this until this happens or this, but start with one thing. And I think same with you. I think maybe people will get intimidated sometimes when they hear you talk. It could be about foods or religion or whatever, but it starts with one book, right? Or it starts with one recipe, or it starts with just one day of cooking.
Sure, but I'm saying that there's a lot of people, they don't want one. They are just
Of course.
They do not listen. They don't like me. They don't like the way I look. They don't like something about me. They don't like that I'm a male. They don't like my skin color, whatever it is. They're just like, I am not going to listen. So, and that's not just me. They probably don't listen to anybody.
Yeah.
But
well,
they listen to somebody.
It's tough. It is tough, man. Well, you're doing a lot of different things out there. It's amazing. I think, especially since you came to Central Florida, there's been maybe more opportunities to meet different people. And you're, I think, socializing differently as well, I think, compared to when I first met you, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, when we met, I mean, I've had social skills, but I was living in a place where it was very isolated. And I don't think I might have had like 2 people come over, like visit my house.
Right.
In like the 6 months I was there, 7 months. But it was great. It was refreshing.
Are you going to start doing TikToks, or going to write your own book you were talking about? Are you going to do any of that?
Yeah, the book. Yeah, I really want to do a book on, taking the Buddhist stuff and showing that it's applicable to, it's just real practical stuff. Yeah. That was something I would love to work in presentations, but yeah, I'll keep you posted. We'll do this again when I get something.
Yeah, I think people want to see the people that I discuss, who you are, like it's not just only photos, because you put these amazing photos of this food up that is so like incredible. I think it's dishes people never even heard of, or the colors and the way you're preparing it, but they want to see who's behind that, right? They want to see you actually make that too, I think. And I think that's really maybe one of the things to just think about in the future, besides just even images of you cooking them, is showing how valuable. Even we've talked about that, how you shop, because when you shop, you're much different, it seems like, than a lot of other people. And it's about price, but it's about finding these unique, these unique pieces that you put together and experimenting and improving on them till really they're at the highest.
Yeah, we should do it. We should go to like Trader Joe's and do a quick TikTok. I'm just always worried about the lighting isn't going to be good, but if you're there.
Stop worrying about anything. People see what you're doing, they're going to be blown away. And when you talk about the ingredients that you use, I'm telling you, unless you're really a chef or something high level, the average Joe is not going to know these type of dishes and how delicious.
That's a good idea. Like maybe we should do that. We'll go to, or maybe it doesn't have to be you, but like I should have someone film me in a store, picking up a couple of things and just pointing to the ingredients and being like, this is why I'm getting this one.
Well, you just did a video at the farm, and with that guy, it was amazing. You're like and you're talking.
That's true.
And they're learning as much from you, and it's their farm.
Like, yeah, I know. I'm surprised. Right? Yeah.
So those are all, you just got to get, we're just going to start taking you to the next level, I think, because people got to, for one, really believe you're cooking those dishes. Let's face it, we all want to know how you're doing what you're doing, especially if you want to teach it or you want to show people how to do it.
That's a good point. Like, I guess that's a good way you can use like TikTok, is people want to see your lifestyle. So
yeah, for
just
sure, with
show
you.
them little clips. And I guess it's just up to me or everyone to just be authentic in what you show.
Yeah, it's hard for me. So it's all voice because what am I going to always be in a closet or always with the guy? In your case, you could just shoot a TikTok real quick. We go, here's the beginning. Here's my rest. This is what I went and shopped. You could show that. Boom, boom,
Mhm.
boom. Then you're in the kitchen. Boom, boom, boom. You
Okay.
see it all the time.
I'm gonna ask Luke to do that because he's pretty good with like making those clips. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, we
He
should
is
go
good.
together.
I'll film you all day. I'll film you in the kitchen anywhere.
That'd be awesome, man. Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Buddhist. What do I call it? The Buddha?
Not just someone, studying the Buddhist teachings, practicing
Yeah.
them.
If they saw this image, they're gonna see. I created a new image for you. It's all about
Oh,
you,
that was great.
self-centeredness. Hopefully, they're gonna be like this ego. That I wanted to truthfully show all the sides of you in the image. And I know we created some other ones, but it was just so you know, Jason didn't create this image. I did, but I wanted to show all the different sides of him, how fun he is, him laughing when he's line dancing, when he's cooking, that's absolutely who you are, in my opinion. The images of the Buddhism and your logo with optimized being, all these things. So I hope you liked it.
Cool.
It took me a while to create,
I
whatever.
appreciate it. I really do.
It was for myself. I'm selfish.
Well,
All right. Anything else you want to wrap this up with?
no, just thanks so much, man. I was all over the place, but
No, it's good. It's good.
we got
And
some good stuff here.
he's in Central Florida. So anybody feel free to reach out to him, but he travels. He'll go to South Florida, right? He'll go north.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out actually where I'm gonna go. I always have to leave Florida for at least 3 months to get out of the heat. So
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going. Maybe Europe this summer.
Wow. That's awesome. Sounds good to me, my friend. All right. We'll do another podcast in the future. We'll be all over the place there as well.
Thank you.
All right.